just like that, it's time for our weekly roundup of all the things Lady just ain't gonna do this week. Number 1, police murder in Akron, Ohio, where a child is shot 60 times and then handcuffed. Y'all, by now you've likely already heard that Jayland Walker, just 25 years old, was shot multiple times during a traffic stop and killed. The medical examiner has classified Walker's death as a homicide and said that when they arrived, Walker was handcuffed and laying on his back. He was apparently shot in the face, the abdomen, and upper legs. Now, y'all know how this goes. Police have a story, and inevitably, another story finna come out. Their story is that they attempted to pull Walker over in a traffic stop, and that he led them on a high-speed chase into a residential neighborhood. According to officers, he then jumped out of a moving vehicle and created what they called a deadly threat to officers. And officers used stun guns and gunshots in response. Now, allegedly, they attempted the traffic stop at approximately 12:30 a.m. By 12:35, 10, and yes, 10 police cars are chasing Walker's car. The police say a weapon was found in the car after they shot this boy what has been reported to be over 60 times. Now look, we gonna wait to see what the details are, but regardless of the details, child, 60 fucking times? You shot that child 60 fucking times? Seriously? Other things Lady ain't gonna do this week is Brittney Griner pleading guilty to drug trafficking. Now this story continues to get more and more heartbreaking. Brittney Griner, WNBA player who was detained in Russia for alleged drug trafficking, pleaded guilty this week in a Russian court. Now, Lady has it on good authority that the courts in Russia are a fucking sham. Griner was primed to be found guilty anyway and sentenced to at least 10 years in prison for what amounted to a few vape cartridges in her suitcase. Word out on the street is that pleading guilty might be Griner's best hope at getting free. Her family is hoping for a presidential pardon from that dude Putin, but none of that can even happen until the case has been decided. So basically, regardless of her plea, Russia is going to continue with the trial because that's how they do things there. And the trial could and probably will take months. Griner has been approved to stay in detention until December 20th. Y'all, it's July. Now, also, apparently there's something Biden can do to expedite this process and basically bypass the trial. But honestly, at this point, word out on the street is that the best bet here is actually a prisoner swap. We also heard that this week was the first time that Sherelle Griner, Brittney's wife, has actually met with the president about the case. Now, child, wait. It's been more than 4 months and a whole ass pressure campaign had to happen to even get this phone call poppin'? Now, I know Biden got a lot on his plate, but what the entire fuck is going on here, sir? Taking Griner into custody on this bullshit charge amounts basically to informally making her a prisoner of war. You just finna let that shit happen on your watch? Tisk, tisk. No wonder people talking about the U.S. being not the shit. Other things Lady ain't gonna do this week is a mass shooting on July 4th in Chicago. Now, we've been talking about mass shootings on this podcast for at least the last few months, and I suppose this month ain't finna be no different. But on the white people's holiday, the white man shot up a 4th of July parade, killing 7 people and injuring at least 24 more in the Highland Park neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. The shooter was a 22-year-old white man who unloaded more than 70 rounds of ammunition from a rooftop. He wore women's clothing and concealer to hide his tattoos. Now, Lady's gonna say this one more time and maybe another time later on. I think the mental health conversation with respect to these shootings is a complete fucking cop-out. I think we need to be talking about who is getting radicalized and around what. What's going on with all these young, predominantly white men shooting up the place? Everybody ain't got mental health issues, child. There's a group of people that are preparing for war in this country, and we are completely and totally unprepared. Let me go on over here to the Southern Poverty Law Center and look up hate groups, because, yeah, y'all worried about Russia, and I get it. I really do. But also, there's an insurrection brewing, and nobody's fucking talking about it. Okay, I take that breath. Here's what Lady wants more of this week, though. Number 1, Lady loves Derek Chauvin getting 30 fucking years for killing George Floyd. I mean, what can we even say? The man who choked a man to death on video got 30 years for his actions. Now, I watched this silly and misinformed ass video the other day on Instagram where some young black man was hollering about, what has BLM ever done for me? Ever, ever, ever. Child, let me ask you this. You think Derek Chauvin was going to be convicted 10 years ago, even under the first black president? Come on now, child. The movement lives, and even if it looks different, it is growing. And you would be silly, you are silly, to try and argue that the movement had zero impact on this case. Lucky for me and for you, we ain't got time for all that. Now, I really wish people would study movements. Don't be just talking out the fucking side of your neck about shit. Understand how change happens, the ebbs and flows, the contradictions. Maybe, if you did, we'd be up in arms about the right things if we were all talking about the same things. Now, for the abolitionists out there, yes, I hear you, I do. I'm studying. And jails are whack and not the fucking answer. And Chauvin needs to be put on a timeout for taking a life, a father, and a friend. God is working on me, child, and in the meantime, it's good to know he didn't fucking get away with it. That's that on that. Other things that Lady loves this week. Well, Essence Fest, giving us all the black magic we needed. Now listen, I have never been to Essence Fest before. I might have even talked shit about it, and I still might because these big-ass festivals ain't for me. I prefer small groups to large crowds every time. But, when Tiffany Cross calls, you answer. And in the meantime, you get to have dinner with your girlfriends and your homies, and you fucking get to see Janet Jackson and D Nice, and woo child, he is fine and he is sweet. Okay, we're not gonna go all these places. You get to see DeBarge, you get to see Jasmine Sullivan and all that. And no, I ain't seen Nicki Minaj because I still feel a way about her vaccine disinformation. And you get to do it as the guest of the mayor of New Orleans? Well, shit, let's just say it's lit. Now, honestly, I wish there was more political activation being done there and done well. But gathering tens of thousands of black people together to have a good time ain't nothing to sneeze at all. Essence is bigger than Coachella, and it's fucking lovely. Nola, you owe me nothing, honey. And I'll tell you what, Auntie can still stay up till 5 a.m. and catch a flight at 8.